say on it.
Thank you. Would like to welcome you to our regular city council meeting at 7 o'clock, and glad to have you here. This meeting is also online. Welcome the thousands that are watching it at this point. So, that's how it is. We will do away with the roll call and just announce that Councilman Travis Keel is on a personal thing tonight, and so he won't be with us. All else are here and in attendance. So I'd like to start the meeting with a Pledge of Allegiance and ask if anyone would like to offer that.
I can do that, Mayor.
Okay.
Please stand. Please repeat the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, Lynn. Also would like to ask if someone would like to offer an invocation or give us an inspirational thought.
Mayor, I'd like to share a thought.
Okay.
I'm not reading anything. This is just coming from my heart. Oh, I thought it was on. Sorry. This is coming from my heart. Next week is Thanksgiving. I hope that we all take an opportunity to stop in our busy schedules and reflect upon how blessed we are as a city, as people, as citizens, as a country, and for the freedoms that we enjoy. And thank our Father in heaven for his watchful care and the blessings that he's bestowed upon us, and especially give that special family member an extra hug or an extra smile or whatever it takes. There's nothing more important than family, and it's a nationwide opportunity to get together as families and express gratitude for the richest blessings that we enjoy. And I'll end it with that. Thank you.
Thanks, Art. Appreciate it. Next, I would like to ask if anyone has a declaration of any potential conflict of interest for any of the business that we have to perform tonight. Hearing none, we'll move on. The consent agenda. I'd like to go through that first, and I'll first go over, you've had a chance to read the City Council work session minutes from November the 5th. Are there any corrections, additions, or changes that need to be made in those? We're good. Second is the City Council regular meeting from the 5th as well. Are there any changes, corrections, or additions that need to be made with those? Good to move. Lastly, on the consent agenda are the bills. All the city expenditures from the 2nd of November to the 15th of November for the amount of $801,982.52. You had a chance to look at those and take out your abacus and add them up. Well, for us older people. No questions on them?
I was glad to see it was less than $1 million for a change.
Yeah, really. Doesn't that feel good? Okay. Any other questions about the consent agenda items? Then I would ask for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Jeff?
Aye.
Art?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
Lynn?
Aye.
Motion passes. Like to move on to the public forum. And I have Sierra Sorensen from Tabitha's Way that would like to take a minute. You know, that is a good thing.
It is a good thing.
There are good things that come out of this, and you guys have grown quite a bit. You still have the one in Saratoga Springs. Is that where it moved, or Lehigh?
We've got several. So yeah, we're in Spanish Fork.
Yeah.
And then we just moved in from American Fork over to Pleasant Grove into a larger building, and then expanded into Saratoga Springs. Then we have our mobile food pantry that's happening here in Payson every month, twice a month too, as well.
Yeah.
So
Here in Payson. You mean there in Payson?
they're in Payson.
Okay, I was just checking. I didn't know they'd annexed us, but, I understand.
Yeah, so I'm Sierra Sorensen. I'm actually a Santaquin resident, so I know where Santaquin is. Santaquin resident, but I serve on the board of directors at Tabitha's Way for that organization. And here to expand on Art's inspirational thoughts, so that was really great, and thank you. We're just reaching out to invite our elected officials to join us in our Christmas give back event where we will be providing Christmas dinners for families in need, and so some of those coming from the community. We just wanted to make sure that all of our elected officials were invited to participate in that event with us. So I just have some invitations to share with you guys. So if that is something that you would like to join us in doing, that event is going to be on December 14th in Spanish Fork from 8:30 to 11:30 a.m. And we plan to distribute over 500 meals that day from community members. And like you mentioned, we are definitely growing, serving about 1,800 households each month out of the Spanish Fork Pantry. So some of the Santaquin residents we are serving at that location. And then about 130 households every 2 weeks in Payson as well is what we're serving there. And definitely seeing an increase. It's about 100,000 individuals. So what that ends up being yearly that we're serving at the food pantry. And we're seeing about a 30% increase in households over last year. So definitely a need. We're still seeing that, and we just really appreciate the city's support and everything that we are doing. And so if you hear of any food drives or anything like that, send them our way. We're always looking for more support, but we'd love to have you participate in our Christmas event if you're able.
Is that a Friday or a Saturday?
It's a Saturday morning. So
8 till noon?
8:30 to 11:30, and I'll leave these with you guys.
Okay.
But we really appreciate your support.
It's the same location as last year there by the bank?
Okay. Yep. Same location.
Okay.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you. I'll leave these in the back.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Would like to move on to the next thing, and that would be the building permits and business license report.
Yeah, Mayor and Council, Norm has that up on the screen. We are up to 230 new residential dwelling units in this calendar year. You can see that's made up of 150 single family and 80 multifamily. That's a 22 new residential dwelling unit increase from the last council meeting. So that's actually quite a significant amount over a 2-week period. You can see compared to this time last year, we were at 162. Fiscal year wise, we're up to 82 as compared to this time last year in the fiscal year 70. So growth happening. And then that's all that I have to report. There's no new business licenses to report tonight.
Okay, thank you. We need to open a formal public hearing for budget amendment number 2. I need a motion to do so.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Lynn?
Aye.
Art?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
So this public hearing gives us a chance to discuss, talk about, and we'll also possibly take action to move forward with it. These are things that we do throughout the year, and they're not necessarily big or out of place at this point. Let's move a couple of dollars around, and I think it was a good expenditure when we're moving what we had put out of our own pocket, but received a grant for on the Prospector View Park. So, do you want to explain it, Norm?
Yeah, so Mayor and Council, this is, as indicated by our Finance Director, Shannon Hoffman, this is a couple of cleanup items on these $12,500 amounts. We had budgeted the funds, the revenue side of things, and needed to pull those back just to $12,500 on those first two. And then, as the mayor indicated, because of Prospector View, because of the grant, and because we paid for a good part of the Bike Skills Park equipment last year, in last fiscal year, this now moves $250,000 from that to the new recreation building that we're talking about putting in over behind the existing rec building.
Yeah.
Happy to answer any questions, and then if you want, now that we're in a hearing, you could open it up to anybody that may have signed up.
This is an opportunity for the public to make a comment on it. Generally, when you have a public hearing and you have to move any money around, you can always ask. So does anybody want to comment? Going once, going twice? Then I would ask for a motion on this budget amendment number 2.
So to close the public hearing.
Oh, that's true. We do, or we can leave it open all night. People can just keep talking.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Okay.
Second.
Second. Lynn? Aye. Jeff?
Aye.
Art?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
Okay, and then a motion for the budget amendment number 2.
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Had a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
And seconded. Brian?
Aye.
Art?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Lynn?
Aye.
Glad they're easy names, you know, that works good. We did go over the new business, did we not?
This is the new business, so we're in resolutions on item number 6.
Oh, that's right, sorry. I read that as though it was for the business license business. Resolution, budget amendment number 2 we have done, and Scenic Ridge Development Agreement. I think I have a whole bunch I'd like to say about this, but Norm, do you want to just go through what we have to do with this one tonight? And then we'll answer any questions. I know there's a statement that you wanted to read.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so just to start off, this is a memo that Assistant City Manager Bond put together for you and the Planning Commission, indicating the items that would potentially benefit the developer and the items that would benefit the city in this development agreement as laid out in the agreement. I will mention that I was able to attend the Planning Commission meeting last week, and they gave a positive recommendation, a unanimous positive recommendation for the council to recommend the council approve this. This does give us some property that's needed for the debris base, one of the 5 debris basins on the east bench that need to be constructed, as well as helping us to get through with the channel and or piping as a means of conveying storm drainage water from mountain watershed through the property. And then there's some other items up there again that the Planning Commission, the second set of bullet items are the items that the Planning Commission mentioned. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have on that, and then I will read just one public statement that was offered and asked to be read to the public and the Planning Commission. So,
Can I just make one?
sure.
So just a clarification, in the memo, those things were provided to the Planning Commission because those were specifically related to code requirements that the development agreement would provide exceptions to. So it's not comprehensive of all the things that were negotiated. For purposes of the Planning Commission, they just needed to look at that from a land use standpoint. The council's responsibility is to look at the development agreement as a whole and comprehensively. So I think the bullet points and stuff there still are a pretty good summary of the main points that were negotiated. But I just wanted to point that out so that you didn't feel like those bullet points were comprehensive of all the things that were negotiated. But obviously that's probably the bulk of the substantive things that were negotiated for that property.
Thanks, Jason.
Yeah, do you want to go ahead and read that?
So the comment is, good afternoon. I just wanted to share some of my concerns regarding the Summit Ridge Scenic Ridge Estates development by Bastion Homes, and would appreciate this email being shared with the public and the Planning Commission. The information in this meeting was made available Friday the 8th, November the 8th. Then the city offices were closed Saturday, November 9th through Monday, November 11th, Veterans Day. The meeting occurs tonight, November 12th, and I have not been able to view the information and prepare for the meeting. In the future, may we have 5 business days to review any proposals as it pertains to our community. Previously, the development agreement permitted 8 lots. Since that time, the lots have not been purchased by homeowners, so I don't understand the urgency to expand this development at this time. Additionally, our water issues have not been addressed. Our water pressure is very low. Additional homes and families will put more users on the existing infrastructure. We need a pump station at the very least to address concerns. from the existing residents before expanding. Santaquin is a beautiful community. We elect our city council members and mayor with trust that they will make decisions in the best interest of the citizens they serve. Please continue to keep us informed and allow us to add our perspective to things that directly impact us. Transparency and open communication serves to further that trust. Thank you, Jessica Mitchell. I'll offer the same kind of points that I made to the Planning Commission. That is addressing the water issue. The development has put in additional water lines, and those water lines have been tested and modeled by both the developer's engineer and verified by our engineering modeling firm, and confirmed that even with the total of 18 lots, including the 8 that was mentioned in the deal in the letter, and the 10 additional that could be on the property per the development agreement, there are no detrimental effects to the water system. There's capacity in there to be able to handle that and not have any negative effects on the homes that are there, or the new homes. I would indicate that they will meet state code, and I would also indicate that this just happens to be at the very top of a pressure zone where pressures aren't very high anyway. But again, according to the modeling and the engineering and the tests that were done on the infrastructure installed, there's no detrimental effects.
One of the major parts to that too is the fire flow, and those were tested, and those meet all of the specifications as well. So,
Correct.
Are there any questions?
I was just going to bring up the water because I do know a few people who do live up there, and they do complain about water pressure. But if it's at the top of the zone, I don't know what else we can do, what we can do to address it. I don't know what their pressures are, but that was the biggest concern I've seen about this development overall. So that they just don't want to lose the quality of the pressure they already have.
And again, this is not to be detrimental to
Yep.
that, according to the modeling and the testing and the new infrastructure that's been installed.
I do want to say one thing. This hasn't been just a walk in the park to take care of. It's taken a lot of meetings, a lot of time, a lot of engineering, and each of these things have been looked at a lot. And there's still more to do. We were able to meet with Mr. Craig and work through an agreement, I think, that was beneficial not only to him, but very beneficial to the city. And in that, I just want to say, through the funds that are being secured to take care of water runoff from the mountain, it's a protection to the citizens that live anywhere underneath that. And this is a big deal. The other thing is we've traded some property to him, but in return for that property, because the CRES, what's the acronym for the
NRCS.
NRCS, they don't allow us to incorporate the purchase of property in with the federal funds that are given to us to create these debris basins. So we either have to pay for it out of taxpayer funds or find a way to pay for them. And Neil worked with us to find a way to make an exchange for the property, which is included in this agreement. And for a little over 2 acres, we've been able to get somewhere near 5.1 acres that will take care of the debris basin. And I just wanted to thank him for working with us, and say it hasn't all gone really smoothly, but we've worked through it, and I think we have a win-win for both. I believe all the questions have been answered that we've been worried about and looked at for a long time. So does anyone have any other questions, or did you find anything as you went through this agreement? Are there any issues that you feel need to be looked at as we move forward? Okay.
Hey, Mayor.
Yeah.
I just want to make a clarification based on that public comment that was made, just for the council and for the public. It was insinuated in there that previously 8 lots were approved in a development agreement. This is the first development agreement with this property owner. Those previous 8 lots were approved through a subdivision process, the typical subdivision process that we have, but there's no other development agreement that affects this property. This is the first development agreement that affects that property. So I felt like it was appropriate to clarify that for everybody's sake.
Expanded upon and has addressed all these issues. Yeah. So with that, I would ask for a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to adopt Resolution 11-05-2024, which approves the Scenic Ridge Estates Development Agreement.
Had a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion and second. Brian?
Aye.
Art?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Lynn?
Aye.
Motion passed. So the agreement is in, and we're ready to move forward. Okay. Thank you for coming tonight. Do you have any questions, or did we miss anything? Good to go, huh?
You don't want to give a speech?
The wheels of government turn slow, and we just try to make it work. Oh, I thought that was Neil crying.
He's crying with just gratitude.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let's move on. Resolution 1106, the ratification of an agreement with Rocky Mountain Power for the underground power west phase of the Santaquin Main Street project. Santaquin Main Street project didn't go away as of last month. We still have 6 more blocks or so to do. And so, yeah, we're going to put up with cones for another 11 months. And you know what? Cones are good. They'll go away. So
They will when they push them in the snow.
they'll go shooting away when they do that. But you know what? This has been a challenge too with increase in price. A year ago, we were looking at almost double of what the original award was, and now we're talking about finishing it, and it's going well. So I just thank everybody for all the work that you guys have put into. We're getting there. Norm?
Yeah, happy to answer any questions. We've talked to mayor and council about this offline, and this is for a ratification to approve this so that we can continue to move forward with the Main Street project. There is sufficient funding in our Main Street project funding this year to get this done, and this is the last kind of utility piece agreement that we need to be able to make this happen. We got the first 4 blocks was, if I remember right, was close to $200,000. This is now 120 plus thousand. So this gets us to the end of getting the power undergrounded on Main Street, which has been a long time coming.
It's kind of neat to think we've got Main Street with all power underground when we finish this.
Yep.
You know, good thing. Any questions? Just getting Rocky Mountain to this point is amazing to me. Put that on record. With that, then, if there's no questions, other comments, then I would ask for a motion to ratify that agreement.
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
I'll second.
And seconded. Lynn?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Art?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
Great. We need to go on to the ordinances. And some of the reason we're doing a couple of these ordinances is we're trying to make sure that we meet state code as well as things that need to be updated. So these are a couple of those I feel. So Jason, do you want to address those?
Yeah, this first one is just an update to the parking aisle width. It would go from 24 feet to 26 feet, and this is really being in line with fire code for the parking aisle width that's needed. In this ordinance, there's a couple diagrams that are updated. I think one of the diagrams, there's an arrow that needs to be removed before it's put in our code. But aside from that, it's essentially changing a number from 24 to 26. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to address any that you have.
With that, then I would entertain a motion to approve the parking aisle widths.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Brian?
Aye.
Art?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Lynn?
Aye.
Let's go on to the cul-de-sac length code amendment. Bull bows, hammerheads, and everything else.
Not so much in this ordinance amendment. It's just changing. It's one digit more than the last one. It's from 250 feet to 500 feet for the length of a cul-de-sac. As we talked about in the work session, and what the mayor's alluding to is there's still going to be the requirement for hammerheads, bulb outs, and things like that for fire apparatus to sufficiently be able to turn around. But this amendment is just changing that, and the reason why it's being changed, it's not really a change. It's more of making sure that we don't have any discrepancies in our standards and specifications. The requirement is a minimum of 500 feet, or sorry, a maximum of 500 feet. And then in our code, it said 250 feet. So we're just making sure that those numbers match in the different areas of our code, and in coordination with the fire chief, 500 was an adequate distance to have. So that's essentially all that's changing in this ordinance amendment is the number for the length of any cul-de-sac shall not exceed 500 feet, measured from the center point of the bowl to the center line of the nearest connecting street, measured along the center line of the cul-de-sac. So again, if you have any questions, we can discuss any that you have.
Any comments? Then I would ask for a motion on the cul-de-sac length change.
I'll make the motion.
Motion made by Art. Second.
I'll second it.
Lynn seconds. Brian?
Aye.
Art?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Lynn?
Aye.
Motion passed. We need to talk about the approval of the meeting schedule for next year. We're going to have 3 council meetings. There'll be one in April, one in August, and one in November.
Sounds good.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll make that motion.
No.
Is that
All right. All
is that in accordance with golf schedule?
No, but that's a thought. I like that thought. Norm?
Yeah, Mayor and Council, Emily, our recorder, has done a great job in putting the schedule together. As I mentioned in the work session, this is a list of dates where we would have council meetings. It's not set in stone. These can change or be canceled or moved. Whatever happens that way, as we've done in the past, due to holidays or due to orchard days or other things that have come up. Our Christmas, if you remember this year, our Christmas employee Christmas party actually was planned for our next council meeting on the 5th, but it's been moved to the 12th because of some scheduling issues with payroll and other things going on that really didn't give us time to do that. So I'm happy to answer any questions. If you have any concerns about the dates, I'm sure we can try and address those, but that's what's being presented tonight for approval to list as our official council meeting dates for next year.
Yeah, they're all Tuesdays.
They are all Tuesdays. That's right. The first and third Tuesdays. That's correct.
Okay.
I just noticed that the February 18th is like right after President's Day. I don't know if that'll affect how many people will be able to attend, but
Yeah, we had that happen a couple of times, like
Okay.
we did.
we'll just approach that as it gets.
Right. And again, we can move those if at the mayor's direction or any of the council members want to visit with the mayor about that. We can certainly have a look at that. But we have that happen a couple of times where we have a Monday holiday the day before a council meeting, and we just try to make sure that the Friday before everything's ready to go as normal in the packet and the noticing.
We've actually been doing pretty good this year. In the last few years, we've changed our staff meetings to Thursday mornings, which gives the staff time to put together any packets, make sure they get them out. We get them out early even. And per state law, I think we only have to have them out by
Monday.
Monday. Yeah.
24 hours before the meeting.
Yeah.
24.
And we're making 5-6 days out of a lot of them. So I appreciate all the work that you put in. I think a lot of things are going together. This meeting schedule just seemed like way we are doing business, I don't know that we need to change. So with that, unless you have any changes you'd like to make, I'd ask for a motion to approve that meeting schedule for next year.
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a
Second.
second?
I'll second that.
Okay, Lynn? Aye. Jeff?
Aye.
Art?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
Okay, motion passed. Before we go too far, I would like to ask if you have a question or a statement that you guys would like to bring up. You just love being here.
Right?
School project.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay.
Well, we appreciate you being here. I just didn't want to miss anything. And, you know, it's a little bit out of line to go out of the norm. But, you know, considering there's 150 people sitting in here, we just wanted to make sure everybody had a chance. So, okay. Well, what I'd like to do, we'll move straight into our reports with Jason. Do you want to start?
Sure. Just a friendly reminder to you that tomorrow at noon is the monthly luncheon that we have for employees. You guys are welcome as always. That's at noon tomorrow. I'd mentioned last meeting, and I'll continue to mention it until it happens, that the Christmas party, employee Christmas party, is December 10th, and I think we've landed on a time at 6:00 p.m. in the evening. So you should get them emails for those, but just want to make sure that you have those on the calendar so you can participate. Also wanted to let you know a couple things. One, we received word today. So maybe taking a step back, there is a state requirement that we need to address water in our general plan, have a water element that goes into a little bit more depth on things. That's something that we need to have completed by December of 2025, so we have a year to work on that. However, we understood there was a grant opportunity for some planning technical assistance to help in that water element of our general plan, and we found out today that we were awarded $20,000 to help with doing the work for that. We still have a little bit of work to do before we can receive that grant money, but that was good news that we received today that will help in getting that to happen. I bring that to your attention not just because we were awarded that grant, but because there will probably be a general plan amendment that will include this water element within the next year. So that's something that you can expect to be on your agenda in the somewhat near future. Just want to report to this past Wednesday. And for some of those that may not know, our planning commission is required to do 4 hours of training each year annually. Something that we started a few years ago with in discussing with colleagues in South Utah County. We figured instead of trying to do that all on our own, that we would come together and have an annual planning commission training event. This year, Springville hosted that, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend. I had a vacation planned already, but I heard that it was a successful event, and I think Art has attended one of those in the past, maybe when you were on the planning commission.
Not this year, but yeah.
Well, in the past.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great opportunity for our planning commissioners to rub shoulders with other planning commissioners, and they can learn and understand and realize some of the things that we experience are not that much different, and there's a regional perspective that I think is good for them to discuss and learn together. In the last planning commission meeting, I guess I'll just report and let you know that because this could possibly be the last meeting they have this calendar year, they did select their chair and vice chair for next year. Trevor Wood will continue to serve as the chair, and I can't speak more highly of Trevor and how he's served in that position. But the vice chair now is going to be Mike Waite. So just wanted to let you know of that. Trevor's so reliable that the vice chair rarely is necessarily needed, but I guess it has happened a time or two. But anyways, just want to give you an update on some of the things that happened with Planning Commission for upcoming meetings. We are expecting to still have a DRC on December 10th. And right now we have a site plan submitted for the second phase of the CVMC building. So that's there on Main Street, the Central Valley Medical Center. I was going to get confused with Canyon View Medical Center, but Central Valley Medical Center. If you can kind of think through it, south of their building, it's kind of vacant on the rest of their parcel. They'd always planned to put another building there and expand some of the parking. So that's essentially what this site plan is to expand what they already have there on the site. That's the only thing that we have that is more for certain to be on the next DRC. There's a whole bunch of other things that are kind of pending and may be on that DRC meeting, but for reporting purposes, I'll just let you know about that one that we know for sure will be there. So with that said, I think that's all I have to report tonight.
Thanks. Norm?
Yeah, Mayor and Council, just a note, we've talked about this off and on for the last little bit. The federal and state governments mandate that we change from a .org, Santaquin.org, to a Santaquin.gov. That transition will happen at 1 p.m. on Friday afternoon. With that, you will be logged out of all of your emails on your phones and all of that kind of stuff. Passwords will remain the same, but the domain is going to change to, for instance, nbeagley@santaquin.gov instead of nbeagley@santaquin.org. If you need help getting back into your phones, Monday morning, the IT folks will be here to help us with that. We anticipate there might be a few bumps in the road for some that don't log into it every day on your computers and that kind of thing. And not only that, but even iPhones can treat different than other iPhones, and Android doesn't. I mean, it's just, it can be challenging. So we want to help you get that, recognizing that our websites, our email, etc., that uses any kind of a .org will go to a .gov. We will the websites. There actually are two websites now. You can go to Santaquin.org or Santaquin.gov, and they're both the same website. But as of 1 p.m., on Friday, if somebody puts in a .org, it will send them to the .gov.
Redirected.
We still own the .org domain and will for years to come, so that we don't have any problems with that. But your emails may be a little bit more challenging and that kind of thing. But just know that this is something that's mandated by the federal government and the state government through the federal government. So we're going to get this done, and hopefully it will be fairly seamless. But I would imagine that some of us may have a little bit of a challenge with getting logged back in.
What time Monday?
Anytime, at 9 o'clock on.
Okay.
Once the doors open here, they'll be here to help staff, and they're more than welcome to help you council members as well.
It changes Monday, right?
It changes Friday at 1 o'clock. There will be a time from Friday approximately 1 o'clock for up to 24 hours where you will not get anything. You won't even have access to your emails. That's why we chose Friday, because going into a weekend, that's okay. But the Microsoft Exchange server will still receive emails that people send to us. We just will not have access to it until the transition is done sometime on Saturday. So again, we're hoping that it's as seamless as possible. We've been working with our website provider, with our IT folks, and everybody involved, and we're hoping that it will go fairly smoothly. If you do notice anything, or if you have troubles or issues, please get a hold of me, and we'll get a hold of the IT folks and have them help us to help you out.
Is it going to be set up to like forward?
It will.
If someone sends
Yep.
to, I know that like the EMS, they're having that
Yep.
training, but in the bulletin they have the .org email. Someone emails that, it'll send to
Yep.
them. So okay.
Yeah, we still own both email domains, the .org and the .gov, and all of our emails will be forwarded. If somebody sends one to nbeagley@santaquin.org, it will forward to .gov. And from the next time you log in after the transition is done, all of your emails that are related to Santaquin will be posted as a .gov address coming to. So people will have those, and they'll have to figure that out. But yes, for some period of time, if somebody uses .org, whether it's on the website or whether it's in our email, we will still get that.
Will there be instructions for us to switch this on our own, or do they not even want us to try?
We can, but my experience has been
Log in, don't you?
it's more challenging than you make it sound.
Well, I agree, but don't know when I can be here on Monday.
If we need to arrange something, we can have them arrange it over the phone and have them help you that way, or even an evening. If we have a couple of IT folks that live here in town, if we need to do an after work type deal, we can set something up for you. We want to make that as painless as possible for you, but I also want to let you know that it's happening. Again, it's kind of like if you have an iPhone, you get logged out of everything, you got to log back in, right? If you don't have an iPhone, you're still going to get logged out of everything, you got to log back in. Again, passwords won't change, the domain will change. So just get a hold of me and we'll figure out what we need to do to get you helped. Okay, thank you. Wanted to report on Main Street, as the mayor has indicated. Main Street continues to move along. You may have seen that they've started doing demo on the south side with sidewalks and curb and gutter and landscaping and stuff to put the dry utilities in. Again, this is part of the undergrounding for the power that we started last week. The gas will be right behind them. We've been working with business owners just like what we did here and providing as much access as we can where we can and making sure that folks can get in and out of there, that type of thing, but knowing that there's going to be it is construction, there's going to be some disruption. The other thing that we will be doing on that, just so you're aware, is these dry utilities are now going into the winter, and so we will be using some temporary asphalt to asphalt in sidewalks for the winter so that we don't have road base left sitting there for the winter time. As soon as we get all the dry utilities in the next couple of weeks on those first couple of blocks, they'll go in and pave a sidewalk with a minimal amount of pavement to be able to give us a traversable surface during the winter time for walking, for snow plowing in front of people's homes or in front of our buildings, that type of thing. That's going to be happening. The street lights on Main Street, the poles have been delayed. We ordered them right at the very beginning of the project some 6-7 months ago. They're still not here yet, and we anticipate they'll be here in the next couple of weeks, and we'll get those stood up as soon as they get here. About that time, hopefully they'll have all of the stamped colored concrete out of the way and done. All the driveway tiebacks, all the asphalt, all the other stuff that needs to be done will get done. And then at that point in time, when we have the ability, the street light on Main Street will be operational. Again, that's anticipated plus or minus December 1st at this point in time, but not a hard date. It'll be open and operational when it gets to that point. CUP on the water line up on the north end of town. If any of you have tried to travel up there, the railroad tracks at Center Street have been closed for the last week or so. They plan to pave that tomorrow to get us back in that Center Street and Ginger Gold Road intersection and get out of there and let the traffic come back through. So that should be open tomorrow or the next day, pending weather delays or issues with paving. I think that's all that I have for you, but I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
Okay. Brian?
Just 2 events that are coming up from community services in between the time that we're meeting again. This Saturday is the 5K, the Blizzard 5K. So that'll be fun. And then Santaquin Holidays. And that's December 6th and 7th. There'll be food trucks, gingerbread contests. Didn't someone compete in the gingerbread contest last year? Did one of you? No? Yeah. I think I'm going to try and compete in that, so wish me luck. I haven't ever gotten a gingerbread house to stand up on its own before, so.
I like your chances.
Yeah. Photo with Santa, and that's at City Hall. So that's on the 6th and the 7th. And then there's a craft boutique, and that is really awesome. There's amazing vendors, a lot of local vendors, and it's pretty busy.
There was barely any room to walk in that room last year.
Yes.
It was amazing. Yeah. So, yep, just don't forget that, December 6th and 7th. That's it for me.
Art?
I have a lot on my mind. I'm not sure what to share or how I can share it. I just appreciate Annette Bott and Katie Davis and the work that they do at the museum and the city staff that helps them do what they do. They've restored the museum from a spooky alley, and actually Thursday there's a school tour going through on Thursdays. So they do a lot of work, and I think they're underappreciated sometimes. And their family, we had a veterans dinner for the American Legion, and their family's an integral part of making that a success. And as you probably are aware, Shane and Farrell both had a pretty serious accident, and Shane had some serious complications following that accident, but they're headed in the right direction.
I didn't
On the
hear
mend.
about that. What happened?
I can tell you off record.
Rolled these side by side.
Oh,
So, in spite of all that, they're just a fantastic family. I appreciate them greatly.
Thanks, Art. Jeff?
Oh, Brian mentioned the things I was going to mention. So if you want to get, run in the cold Saturday at 9 o'clock at Apple Valley, you can still register online. They have 70 people signed up already. So it should be a good turnout. You can register when you get there if you want. Forgot the drone show on holidays. That's right. We'll have the drone show again.
Yeah.
It will be in Centennial Park and not Harvest View this year. So that should be fun. Hopefully Public Works can put a few more lights up on the tree for the tree lighting. Last year was a little underwhelming, but it was our first year, so that's fine. But hopefully they can do a little bit more. And we have started working on the Bikes for Kids event this year. It's the same Saturday as Holidays. We're gathering names and trying to see how many we can have, but I'm sure we'll have some more updates on that next time. So,
Okay,
yep, that's all I got.
thank you. Lynn?
the only thing I have is this time of year there's a lot of need, as we saw from Tabitha's Way. They're expanding and they have a hard time keeping up. There's just a lot of need in our community, so be aware of neighbors, friends, whatever that may need help, because there are a lot of agencies and help available through religious organizations. Tabitha's Way is a great one, but there just seems to be more lately. At least I've been aware of more need. People that just don't have enough even food and clothing. So we just need to be aware and try to help people where we can, point them in the right direction. Again, church organizations, Tabitha's Way, even schools can help. So just be aware and let us know if you know of anybody that needs help.
Okay.
Regarding
else?
that Tabitha's Way, if anybody's available to participate in that, Betsy and I did that last year. It's kind of a neat experience. Those people, it's kind of a drive-through type thing, and as those people drive through, they're just so appreciative of any kind of help that they can get, and they're given a complete dinner for their family. It's a very heartwarming experience. Yeah. It's cold, but it's heartwarming.
Okay. Thank you. I just had a few things. The lower parking lot just above the power plant in the mouth of the canyon is about 80% done. It's got rocks around it. It's been grubbed and rolled with machines, and it doesn't have a gravel layer on it. And we're just waiting until we can evaluate that. The gate's been moved. There's rocks around it, so you can't drive over and out of the way. And you can park over by the Turkey Run Trail and take off. And so that's just a neat thing. I wanted to thank you all that came to the open house for I-15 interchange. Did most of you make it? I know there were a lot of comments. We were down in St. George, and I sent Jeff a few texts because I knew he would answer me right away. And so I was just kind of trying to figure out what kind of attendance we had. It sounded like we had
There were quite a few.
60 to 90 people in there somewhere. Yeah. I don't know. A lot of good comments. There's still comments that they're taking. So if you think things are good, if you think there's something you want to say that you didn't get a chance to, log in and write it down. I think they still would like to have some good positive responses. Also,
December 7th is the December 2nd
second.
is the deadline on that, and there is a link on our website, on our Facebook page, and social media channels that you can just go find that link and go make a comment.
UDOT had a lot of staff there ready
Yeah, they
and
did.
willing to answer questions. It's very well staffed.
Yeah, they're pretty good, and you know, we had the media there. It was Daily Herald,
Okay.
and they called and talked to me for quite a while. Either I talked or they did. I don't remember which. But, you know, it was a chance to let them know what we feel and how this has gone. You know, there's going to be people that like it and people that don't like it. But also the ones that don't like it don't like the traffic and the problems that come with it. It's just, how do you put up with change sometimes? Right now we're changing Main Street, and it's been a touch and go year with just challenges down Main Street that had markers, barrels or candlesticks, and you know what? We lived through it. And I'll tell you what, the first 4 blocks that they've been working on look fantastic. And I'm grateful for Landmark, the work that they've done, for UDOT and their support in getting this, as well as MAG to help us with the money. And we've got another year ahead of us to get it up and going. And that kind of gets us to the next project. And I don't think next year at this time that we're going to be tearing out the interchange. I would love to.
Sure hope
You know, I'm sure nobody would want to hear that, but it's been a lot of work to get to where we are. Norm and I, as we sat in that meeting 3 years ago and had to hear UDOT say, well, we're not even going to think about this for 30 years. I think we both come out of that meeting going, heck with this, we're going to figure this out. And it hasn't been extremely smooth, but I'll tell you what, it is rewarding when Norm and I can travel all the way to Salt Lake or to Tooele or to St. George and meet with the Transportation Commission and know them well enough that they know us by name. They know the project. I was able to spend time on Thursday and go to a special tour that they put on with the local Washington County cities that, you know, are vying for money and for changes within their own transportation area. And they want a lot of money. You know, ours is a drop in the bucket, but ours is as important as anything else. And the best part about it to me is Nagi Zanotti, who is the chairman of the commission, knows me well enough that he not only calls me by name, he introduces me as I'm walking up to talk at the commission meeting. And he also sat with me in that bus for 2 hours, and we talked about what they're doing in St. George, but what we need to do in Santaquin. And very valuable time, incredible people, and they are our friends, they are our allies, and we're making headway. I think it's just not an easy process, but if we didn't pay attention to any of this, we'd still be where we were 3 years ago, because the asks that are out there are in the billions of dollars now. And ours has grown, but we, with this EA, now have a preliminary design and some options ahead of us. And what we're going to do is we're pressing forward with the legislature And those plans are laid in place. When you guys came to the summit here a week or so ago, you met those people that we're working with, and they are in our favor. They know, realize, have seen, and understand why we need to go through this legislative process. And so it means we need to take a few days. Probably every week we'll be going to Capitol through the next few months, and we are going to continue this work to see if we can make it happen. Will it happen next year? I doubt it, but we may get a phase of it. And rather than look at give us the whole thing, we also have a plan that we can look at it in phases and maybe find smaller chunks that will help us through this. And I believe we've got a good plan. We have good people we're working with. I just want you guys to know the role that you have played, especially when Norm and I weren't here last week, was critical. UDOT wanted and was looking for people, and when you step up as a councilman, they recognize that, they put that down, and they know how important this is to us. You know, but we got a lot of work to do. Yeah, we do. And we'll just push on. Next thing, the bikes for kids. I'm not going to be available those days. So the bikes for kids and the holidays, I am gone. I've been planning an out-of-town trip, and it's paid for. So I have got to go on this.
Leave your trailer.
Anything you need, let's just make sure we get those arrangements made. And then I appreciate
Have you told
it.
John?
I know.
Have you talked to John about it?
He knows.
Okay.
Mike Romero, he'll be a part of that through and
He'll
through.
still be there. Yeah.
Now, if we may need to have one of the city crew drive my trailer up, haul the bikes back. So can we kind of keep that in mind if we need to do it? My trailer works really good for it, and then it's got that cover that you can just throw over it, and it'll hold every bike we pick up. So, and then in MAG, in the last couple of times that I've been to meetings, we've talked extensively of the homeless shelters that are being built, and you know, at first they asked every city that we consider homeless shelters. One of the reasons they didn't open the canyon was the Forest Service says we don't want the homeless living up there. I don't know how that fits in this day and age, but that was their statement, and that just doesn't work. Provo, Springville, and a few others have put their heads together, and they've got a place that has about 50 rooms, something like that. And there is a need to help at the homeless shelter. So they've asked all the mayors to take places, and so we'll go over and spend time. They have shifts where you go in and check homeless people in and let them get to a room so that they'll have a shower and a bed, a place to go to. And so I guess I'll be doing one of those. But they asked if anyone would like to volunteer or go over. You kind of run the desk. You invite the people in. I guess it's like being at the desk at the hotel. However, on a cold night, this is the thing that'll save some of these people. And if you would like to do it, I have the information, or you can just contact MAG yourself. Mayor Kafusi and Mayor Packard and a few others have got a lot into this, invested into it to make it happen. This is the only one we have in Utah County, and they feel like it's enough to take care of the need right now. So if you find time, great. So I'm sure I have 2 or 3 other things. We're working with some more businesses. I am working with restaurants right now, and even some hotels. So, you know, the work doesn't stop. And we'll have some things happen. We'll see how it goes. With that said, we do need to take a few minutes and go into a closed session tonight. There's a few things that we would like to do. I'd like to ask that we have a closed session which can be called to discuss pending or reasonable imminent litigation, collective bargaining, and or purchase, exchange, or lease of real property, a proposed development agreement, a project proposal, or a financing proposal related to the development of land owned by the state.
I'll make a motion to enter that session.
I had a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
And seconded. Lynn?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Art?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
So it's 8 o'clock and we're going into a closed session. When we get finished, we will close that session and then close this session right after.